Yes, Selassie, Marcus Garvey, Paul Bogle, William Gordon, Sam East Coast Bay, Green Lion to the Black Lion, and the Black Lion to the Green Lion. No mercy comes. No mercy comes.
Yes, people, we're here, we're live and direct, and of course we're going to be joined by the Green Lion crew, so make sure you keep it locked in.
Take over.
Hey, blessings.
Yo, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. On my way home from New York back to Maine.
Nice. How was your gig? How was your settings?
It was nice. It was real nice. Yes.
Cool.
Good little crowd, good people. Played with some cool bands, so good
That's
time.
cool, man. Definitely. So, of course, you have to let the listeners know, the people know who you are and a little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm Zeke from Green Lion Crew. We're reggae producers based out of the state of Maine on the east coast of the U.S. Yeah, I've been producing for over 10 years now. Done tracks with everyone from Kat-a-lyst, Kabaka, Chronix, Dre Island, Jesse Royal, Lee Scratch Perry, as you were just playing,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? When you have that long list, I feel like we need to start from the beginning. How did this journey begin? How did you guys come to be who you are now?
Well, me and my best friend in high school just started to get obsessed with reggae, and we were a band, and we were actually a sound first, so we used to voice dub plates and stuff. But he actually ended up going to school at Full Sail University, and he was roommates with Collybud's best friend. So he went to Full Sail at the same time as Collybud's.
Yeah.
That's when we initially got the link with him, and
Okay.
Collie was actually the first person I produced for in 2009. We did a track together called Come
Wow.
Down. So
Okay.
that was the beginning of us working with artists, pretty much.
Wow. And you've named that whole list of people, and how do you get nervous? Do you get excited? Tell us kind of the process when you're working with these great artists.
Yeah, well, our big thing too is we just try to hit people up we think have talent. So we worked with Kabaka long before, he was sort of getting big and
Yeah.
Chronix too. So we always like to work from a very natural standpoint of just I don't really chase after a lot of big stars. Sometimes that happens naturally, but we definitely like to go with people that are just down to earth, and we're going to focus on the music. So but of course certain artists, when I'm around Scratch, he was my favorite producer since when I was 15, so I was definitely totally big reggae nerd here. That was just wow, I get blown away all the time. Reggae is small, so that's why it's really cool who you get to rub shoulders with, some of the biggest people, and they're just around. That's what's beautiful about reggae. And
Yeah, for real, 100%. And obviously, sadly, Scratch has passed away. But what was kind of, I don't know, his persona, his message out there for people that didn't get to meet him?
I always thought Scratch was he had all the best qualities of a child. People said he was crazy, but he wasn't crazy at all. He's very smart, and it was just he lived free. He didn't have nothing. Nothing stopped him from being himself. And so when you're around him, just his general spirit of excitement and it's contagious. And so that was the main thing that rubbed off on me, is I'm just wow, he's truly a free spirit, and I think that's why a lot of people connected with him, because we all have that inside us.
Yeah, 100% agree. And when it comes to music now, there's been some criticism of music that you can produce too much of it, if that's even such a thing. So what's your opinion about that? What's kind of your thoughts around it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true in a lot of ways. But then, you always need new music too. So, even with me, I have so many songs in my catalog, but they aren't all fit to actually release, you know?
Oh,
So I try to be more picky about what actually goes out to the
mhm.
public, where I think some people might just put out anything they make,
Okay.
which, you know, everyone has their own thing. So, but
Yeah.
I always think, yeah, quality is the key.
Yeah, I hear that. Definitely. And do you remember that first tune you ever made?
Yes.
Okay, tell
Like
us
the
about
first
that.
two, oh, like the first track I ever made, ever,
Yeah, like
or
you ever made.
that's a tough one because I started playing guitar when I was 14, and so
Okay.
we quickly were like messing around. And I think there's one day that I met up with my friend Dana, who's the other half of Green Lion Crew, and we went back to his house. We had a 4-track, and I think what we did is we played drums and bass. He played drums, I played bass, and then we did an overdub on the other 2 tracks with keys and guitar. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was our first rhythm we ever made. So,
Okay. And you're
but
laughing, but how did it turn out? How did it turn out? Good or not so good?
it was all right. We were into it at the time.
Okay.
We were into it at the time.
Okay. I hear that. I hear that. Definitely. And you know, as you just said, your name is Green Lion Crew. Where did that name come from? Tell us.
Actually, our practice space when we were in high school, we started the band. We just had a sheet. We were in the basement. We had a sheet, and he drew a big lion on it in green marker. So that's literally how Green Lion started. And then the crew at the time, Scare Dem Crew was big. We were into them, and we wanted to make it like a collective, like a bunch of
Yeah.
people collaborating. So like whoever is collaborating with us is part of the crew. So we're always looking to, you know, collab with vocalists or musicians, and so that's Green Lion Crew.
Yeah. I hear that definitely. And is there anyone that you're working with at this particular point?
A whole bunch of stuff in the
Okay.
works.
Okay.
We have a whole album with Medison
Yeah.
that we've been working on for quite a while. I got unreleased tracks with Anthony B. The Movement. We did a tune with the Movement.
Yeah.
Um, Bunch of stuff I'm not even remembering right now, but we always have a ton of tracks in the works.
I
So
hear.
there's more coming for sure. Oh, we have a tune with Sizzla that's coming out.
Okay. I like
So
that. I'm looking forward to them, definitely. And you
yeah,
know, you did one
thank
with
you.
Iotosh as well, and that was a fire tune. Was it Skillful?
Skillful, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was turned out to be one of the hottest songs on the album to me. And he's
Okay.
such a talented producer himself. The fact that he
Mhm.
can be that good of a vocalist, he's just all around really talented. Really
Yeah,
nice person to work with too, down to earth, cool person.
for real, definitely. So I've got to ask, are you a vocalist at all?
No, yeah, I'm sure I'd have some tracks if I was a vocalist, but you know, we
Okay.
played around when we were younger. But I'm a
Yeah.
musician though, so you know,
Yeah.
we collaborate with musicians, but a lot of the beats, like I make the beats. I play guitar, bass, keys.
Yeah. I hear you, 100%. And you know what? One of my passions is the youth and kind of like encouraging the next generation to do either producing work, DJing, or whatever it may be. So what do you kind of do to like, you know, encourage the youth? Because I know you guys, you put out so much stuff. So is
Yeah.
there like any projects that you're doing or anything like that?
Well, if I ever talk to someone who's interested in doing this type of stuff,
Yeah.
just to follow your taste and
Okay.
like if you think it can happen because all this stuff, there's a time when we didn't think we'd ever link with any artists or do anything, and then it just starts
Yeah.
happening. But it's like if you put the effort in, it'll happen.
Mhm.
So I'm always very encouraging of people just to I just simple as just reach out to artists. Like you want to start working with artists, start sending them emails with your beats in them. Look
Yeah.
out for artists you think are talented and start hitting them up, and try to develop a sound with that artist. Um,
Yeah.
the, these things, like it can be as simple as that, and I think sometimes people overcomplicate things, but it can be that simple.
Yeah. 100%. Definitely. And you know, when it comes to producing now, um, tell us sort of like what do you have to do to get prepared for like, you know, to make a beat and those sort of things? Because I think sometimes we just think music is quite easy to do, and it's actually not. So what's the kind of things you have to do?
A lot of practicing. I mean, that's really what music is. I mean, even the most talented musicians, it always comes back to practice. And so
Mhm.
like I put in so many hours mixing and just learning how to mix, and I'm still constantly getting better and learning things. So it really is that you just have to, some people have that natural talent where they can just sit down and they, tenor saw, first time he grabs a mic, he can sing.
Yeah.
Other people have to really work at it. Like myself, I had to really grind out and work till I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I think I'm liking what I have. And I think just to, one key point is to be able to separate yourself, because you're always going to like your own stuff more. And so to
Mhm.
actually challenge yourself more to reach a higher level, I think, to where,
Okay.
um, I think it's easy to fall in love with your own stuff and become comfortable with it. I'm always like kind of like down on myself to do better.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, I
Not
mean,
down,
I
that's
think
the
that's
wrong way to put it, but just like, I know to hit that bar, it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So to
yeah,
hit that bar, you really have to put in the work and make sure that you're doing putting your all into it.
100%. But you know what? So I suppose that keeps you, your mind going and entertained, doesn't it, on what you're doing and pushing yourself to go forward.
Exactly. If you're like comfortable, it's like everything already, then why do you need to keep doing it almost?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And is there anyone that you would love to work with that, they might be listening, you never know, and they would, they might hear it and go, you know what? I'm going to check you out.
I mean, long list, long list.
Okay.
Um, you know, I'm a huge fan of Damian Marley, so
Yeah.
that would be a dream come true to work with Damian.
Mhm.
Steven, same way. Um, there's a whole bunch of, I'm an old dance hall guy, so there's a long list of like,
Okay.
I'd love to do a track with like Bounty Killer, or like,
Okay.
Sizzla is my absolute all-time favorite. So to do a track
Yeah.
with him was big.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still definitely like a long list, and there's a lot
Mm.
of, I'm into hip hop a lot too, so maybe
Okay.
doing some more hip hop tracks, someone like, Joey Badass or
Mm.
something like that would be big for me.
Definitely. Yeah, man. I feel that. And so what was it like working with Sizzla? Because he puts out tunes literally it feels like every day.
Yeah.
So what was it like? What was it like working with
Um,
him?
it was cool. The, a lot of artists we voice in person. This one I actually voiced through his engineer Breadback. But they were, video calling me on the session, make sure I liked the song, and we talked a few times. It was really smooth, and did a killer track, super positive, good track. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was fun, and he's such a humble, nice person. Um, just like my biggest musical role model, pretty much. I mean, the early productions with Faddis were some of the biggest, like
Yeah,
Praise You Jah and all those albums were big for me.
definitely. I hear that. And you mentioned you are a big reggae fan, which is obviously blessed. So what got you into reggae? What was it about that particular genre? I know you mentioned hip hop as well, but what is it about those genres that you like?
Well, my older brother Chris was a DJ, and my dad's side of the family is from New York City, so he grew up
Okay.
in the 80s and 90s in New York City.
Mm.
So we always had records around the house. I definitely looked up to him a lot, and um, all those records were incredible. And my early people that I got into was like Lone Ranger and Eka Mouse. I really started with the roots and like Rocksteady,
Mm.
and then it was actually Chai who came from St. Croix and was bringing me Sizzla CDs in like 98, 99, and that really changed the whole game too. So
Yeah, for real. I hear that. And obviously being a female DJ, is there any kind of like female artists that you're working with or have worked with that we can go and check out?
it's crazy. I've come extremely close a few times, but we haven't. Chai actually put out a tune with Rima,
Okay.
so we've worked with Rima before, but we actually don't have any tracks, which I'm trying to change. I've been talking to Hempress Sativa, Jazz Elise, and so there's some possibilities, but that's something that I definitely need to change soon. And
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of John Nine and quite a few quite a few artists. Of course, Leela and everyone. So yeah, we need to do a whole EP with some
Yeah,
females for sure.
that would be dope, definitely. I feel like now we've spoke it into existence, it's gonna happen, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a big fan of Queen Omega as well. She's so
Mm.
talented. I would love to do some work with her.
Yeah, Queen Amiga is fire, man. And I like the tune that you did with Capleton as well. Was it Days of Old?
Days of
That
Old,
was a
yes,
nice
thank
tune. Yeah,
you. Yeah,
definitely
thank
nice tune. Another great artist, definitely.
yeah, one of my all-time favorites again. So that was another honor, and I've been to David House a few times to voice him for dub plates and that sort of thing. But definitely another level to do a track with him. So
Yeah. And do you ever get like starstruck? Because obviously these are some of the legends in the business. Do you ever get like, oh gosh, kind of vibe, or not really?
absolutely, absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. And
Okay.
sometimes you don't want to show it so much, but certain artists, um, but you know, in other situations, not so much. It depends. When I met Tits and
Yeah.
Barris, Marcia Griffiths, like those are the ones where I really kind of turn into a nerd. You know?
I think we all do that. I think there is certain artists that you go, okay, okay, let's get a bit nerdy now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Buju,
100%.
Buju, Buju's someone I've been around where I was just posted up on the wall,
Hi. Definitely. So, where do you like see yourself, going with this? Because I mean, the possibilities are endless because you've done so much so already. So, where do you
yeah,
see yourself going?
just the same sort of thing. Like I just want to keep producing
Okay.
for people and keep leveling up. I'd love to
Mm,
do more touring with artists because I've done so
okay.
much productions and I tour as a DJ, but I would love to do more collaborations on stage with artists and musicians, um,
Okay.
just to get the music out there more and play more. So I think that's probably one of the next steps that we need to do a lot better on is touring. So
Okay. Definitely. So, where would you like to tour? I suppose that's a good question.
yeah, um, you know, UK of course. Um,
Okay.
some of our biggest fans are from London, so I feel like I need
Mhm.
to play in London sometime. But yeah, anywhere in the UK, Japan, Africa. Um, we've been around the US a little bit, but it would be cool to do a run in Mexico. I see they have a really solid reggae scene down there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty much anywhere you want to send me, I'll go.
Anywhere I wanted to do. Okay, okay. So, we're coming to like the end bit of the interview. What can people kind of expect from you up and coming? And how can they find you? People want to book you and things like that. How can they do that?
Everything Green Lion Crew. So, we have a YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. It's all Green Lion Crew. So,
Yeah,
our email is greenlioncrew@gmail.com. So that's the best way to link up with us.
yeah, man, definitely. And any final words you want to say to the people that have been supporting you and kind of showing you love?
Yeah, just thanks everyone for listening. The new album, we just dropped Rhythm Full of Culture, the new album. The response has been amazing, and we're just going to try to keep bringing quality music that true reggae fanatics will enjoy. So that's our
Yeah,
goal.
100%. And then you know what? I want to say thank you, for stopping to take this interview. I really appreciate it. I'm sure you've had a busy night, busy day doing your thing.
Thank you so much for having me. I really
Anytime,
appreciate it. It's
always
fun to
welcome.
talk.
Definitely. More love, yeah?
All right, bless.
All right. Bless up.
Peace.
Bless.